watching India Today Global with me, Ishita Mitra. It's Monday morning in the Indian capital, and at this hour, we bring you the latest from around the globe. Fears of West Asia spilling into a regional war could become true. Hezbollah launched a significant assault on Israel using hundreds of rockets and drones on Sunday, and this prompted a retaliatory response from the Israeli military, which conducted about 100 airstrikes on targets in Lebanon. Now, the intense exchange of fire caused visible damage and casualties. In Lebanon, about 3 people were confirmed dead, while in Israel, 1 person was killed. Hezbollah's leader, Syed Hassan Nasrallah, has indicated that group's attack was a response to the assassination of a senior commander and that further retaliation could follow if deemed necessary. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has warned that conflict is far from over. Now, given this backdrop, Gaza's ceasefire negotiations in Cairo between Israel and Hamas have hit a deadlock. The talks, mediated by the US, Egypt and Qatar, aim to address key issues such as the presence of Israeli troops in Gaza and the release of Palestinian detainees. Now, Hamas has rejected the new conditions proposed by Israel and emphasized on the need for a permanent ceasefire and full Israeli withdrawal from Gaza. Meanwhile, US National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan has stated that talks, which have been constructive so far, will continue but did not provide a breakthrough. Now coming to Germany, a 26-year-old Syrian man has been arrested in Solingen in the country following a knife attack that resulted in 3 deaths and 8 injuries. Now, the attack occurred during a diversity festival and was reportedly motivated by radical Islamist convictions, with the suspect allegedly targeting non-believers. The incident has sparked political and public outcry, leading to calls for stricter security measures and controls on immigration in the country. The suspect is believed to have links with Islamic State, which has claimed responsibility for the attack. On to Russia-Ukraine war now. Ukraine has expressed concerns about a significant Belarusian military deployment at their border. Now, this includes tanks, artillery and air defense systems deployed at the shared border. Ukrainian officials have urged Belarus to withdraw these forces, warning against potential conflict escalation in the region. Now, the Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko had previously claimed that Ukraine had mobilized a large number of troops at the border, and the situation has been worsened by Belarusian troops and former Wagner mercenaries being present near the border. Moving to Asia now, where North Korea is leaving no stone unturned to prepare for a wider war. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un oversaw tests of new drones developed by the country. These tests demonstrated the drone's ability to accurately identify and destroy targets along the preset route. Now, Kim emphasized on the need for more advanced drones. This included suicide drones for tactical and special operations, as well as reconnaissance and multi-purpose attack drones. Now, the tests are part of North Korea's broader strategy to enhance its military capabilities and assert its strength in the context of heightened regional tensions. Now, some news involving China. The country's military has increased its patrols and security measures along the border with Myanmar due to the escalating conflict between ruling junta and rebel forces. Now, fighting has led to artillery shells crossing into Chinese territory, prompting Beijing to enhance its military presence and conduct drills to maintain border stability. Now, the government has expressed concerns about the negative impact of the conflict on regional stability and has reiterated its commitment to restoring peace in the region. Now, some tragic news from Pakistan. 2 separate bus accidents in the country resulted in at least 34 deaths. The first accident involved a bus carrying pilgrims on the Makran coastal highway, resulting in about 12 fatalities, while the second accident occurred when a passenger bus plunged into a ravine in Kahuta, killing about 22 people. Rescue operations have been conducted to recover the bodies and assist survivors, highlighting the need for improved road safety measures in the region. Meanwhile, it's another day and another battle of claims and counterclaims in South China Sea. The Philippines has accused Chinese vessel of aggressive and dangerous maneuvers to block a ship delivering provisions to a Filipino fisherman in the disputed waters. The Chinese Coast Guard reportedly used water cannons and attempted to ram the Philippine vessel, while China defended its action, claiming the Philippine ship entered disputed waters illegally and posed a threat to the Chinese ship. Now coming to Mexico, where protests erupted against a proposed judicial reform by the outgoing president Andrés Manuel López Obrador. The reform, which seeks to elect judges by popular vote, is intended to combat corruption but has been criticized for potentially undermining judicial independence and merit-based appointment. Opponents argue that it could increase political influence and vulnerability to organized crime. Telegram has now defended its CEO, Pavel Durov, and the platform's compliance with EU regulations, asserting that CEO's arrest is an unjustified attack on free speech. Now, the founder of the Telegram was arrested in France upon arrival, and the arrest is linked to a preliminary investigation into allegations that Telegram's moderation practices have allowed a wide range of criminal activities. Now, Durov, who holds a dual French and UAE citizenship, has faced criticism from figures like Elon Musk and the Russian government. Thank you so much for watching this segment. Stay tuned to India Today Global for more such updates.